Hello to all my Fox Hollow fam, and welcome to Baking with Fox Hollow Kitchen. I'm Dave, and brunch is served. It's time to grab your mimosas and gather around the table because I'm making you some really rockin' orange Danishes today. These are light, flaky, and sweet, and perfect for breakfast or brunch. So if you're ready, then let's have some fun. The first thing we're going to do here is make our yeast. I've got some water here that's between 110 and 115 degrees. We're going to throw in 1 packet of yeast. That's 2 1/4 teaspoons. And just stir it until it's dissolved. And then we're going to set that aside for at least 5 minutes. While we're waiting for our yeast to activate, in a medium bowl, we're going to place 2 cups of flour, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and just whisk this together until it's all completely combined. Then we're going to take our yeast and pour it into here. And just mix it till it's through the flour. We're not going to have a dough exactly, it's just going to be crumbs. I can smell that yeast. Okay, and then we're ready for our next step. Next, we're going to take our flour mixture and put it in the food processor with some butter. So I'm going to put about half of this in here. And I have some butter that I cut up into smaller pieces. We're going to throw that in as well. And keep this butter cold. For any kind of pastry, you want cold butter. And put the rest of the dough on top of it. Put on our lid. And we're going to give this a spin. Just like that. And what we'll have is a crumbly mixture. We don't want to break up the butter entirely. We're just going to have little pebbles of butter in there a little bit. And we're just going to throw it back in the bowl. Next, we're going to put in 2 egg yolks. Save the whites. We're just going to use the yolks for this, but we're going to save the whites for later. And half a cup of milk. And mix this together into a soft dough. I'm going to get in here with my hands a little bit. Make sure all the flour is wet. May need to add a little extra flour to keep it from being too sticky. And then that's it. I have a little soft dough bowl here. I'm going to put this in a different bowl and cover it in plastic wrap and throw it in the fridge overnight. Okay, now that this sat in the fridge for at least 8 hours or 12 hours, no more than 24 hours, we're going to take it and punch it down a little bit. It's puffed up a little bit while it was in there from the yeast. And I'm going to take it out of here. Throw a little flour down. And we're going to try to roll this out into something more like a rectangle. When I get sort of a rectangle, I'm going to cut it in half. I have my trusty pizza cutter here. That works really well. And we're just going to work with half at a time. I'm going to try to make a square out of this that's about 7 inches square. There, and once I have a square, I'm going to cut it into about 6 or 7 pieces, into 6 or 7 strips. We're going to take each strip then, pinch it into a ring, and then just make a little loop out of it like that. I'm going to do that with all 6 of these strips. And I'm going to throw that on a cooking tray, and we'll start with the other half. Then I'm going to brush these down with the egg whites that we saved from earlier, just to coat them a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to let them sit in a nice warm place for a little while to puff up until the loops close in and we're ready to go. Now that these have puffed up a little bit, we're going to put our filling in. I have a thing of orange marmalade here.
Marmalade!
What we're going to do is make a little dip in this curl and fill it with the orange. Just make a little dip with the spoon. And fill it with orange marmalade. And just keep going. And then lastly, I'm going to brush these once again with the egg whites. There you go. And finally, we're going to place these in the oven for 15 minutes at 350 degrees until they turn golden brown. While our Danishes are baking, I'm going to make a glaze to go on top. We're going to use 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, a half teaspoon of vanilla, and a tablespoon of milk. And we're just going to whip this together. And there we go. We'll just drizzle that on top when we're ready. Okay, our Danishes are golden brown from the oven, and I'm going to drizzle our powdered sugar over them now. Just like this. that's it. They are done. Okay, and now for the taste test. Let's see how we did. That's very good, very sweet. You can really taste the orange marmalade. It's perfect for brunch. Wrapping up today, I want to thank you for joining me and also encourage you to check out our friends and support channels in the descriptions below. But before I go, I want to leave you with these words from Steve Martin. Be so good they can't ignore you. Thanks again, and we'll see you all soon.
If you like this video or any of our other videos,
Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and stay tuned for future shows.